Hey, Rod, you ever run into a fake black belt while you're teaching class?
Not exactly a black belt, but I had something real similar happen.
Really? Tell me about it.
You're going to find out right now on the next episode of Open Mat Chronicles. Okay, you guys, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here, coming back at you guys every week. And as always, we got Schaefer in the house.
What's up, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Yeah, buddy. So today, man, we got some hypotheticals to throw around, right? You know, these are just our opinions on this one, but I think it'll be a good one. They always are. Opinions are like, well, you know what they're like. So
Wait till 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Don't curse yet.
So check it out. We want to know, because we're going to tell you what we're going to do, but we want to know what you would do too. What do you do if some fake black belt, just blatantly fake black belt, shows up? He's in your school. He's like, I'm not even saying he's talking with a fake Brazilian accent or nothing like that. He just shows up. He's got his nice, clean, pressed gi black belt he ordered off of Amazon, and you know, and whatever he learned from YouTube, and he's ready to just come in and put in some work.
That's crazy. Huh? Actually, there's a few videos of that. There's not that many, but so I don't think it happens all the time.
I don't think it
But what
happens
would
all
you
the
do,
time.
man? Have you ever seen anything like that?
Not to that extent. I mean, I know we've talked about like some
yeah.
other belts have popped in, and you're just like,
We've seen that.
you kind of give them the side eye. You're like, really?
I'll get into that later, but
Yeah.
it's
So
too soon.
I guess the first question, right? What would you do if the guy shows up? You know, maybe you just got finished teaching class. You know, you're welcome. Hey, how's it going? Joe, Bob, Bill, whatever his name is, and you go through the class, and you know, some of your blues and your purples and your browns, they're kind of looking, and maybe they rolled with them a little bit, and they're like, "Yo, Rod, I don't know, man." They're like, "Yo, can I talk to you for a second? I just got a question."
my God.
You know, they're like, "This guy said he's a black belt," and you go, "Yeah. Why? What's going on?" And it's just like, yeah, let's just say he's doing scissor sweeps wrong.
Like,
He's getting his back taken left and right. And let's say he's just your average guy, 32, 3, 4 years old, you know, decent enough shape. He can speak the speak, you know what I mean?
Like he knows the moves, but
knows-
here's the giveaways too would be like, is he spazzy? Like that's just something you can't hide, right? Even
Right.
if you knew some of the techniques, you might be a blue belt level if you're spazzy still, but you still knew some techniques, right?
True.
So, I
So
don't know.
what would you do? Oh, you want to know what I want to do first?
Like, what do you do? Like, is that? I don't know, man. I really don't know. Do you call
Okay.
them out, or do you just like? Because here's what I think would happen. I think honestly, it would just be gossip within the school. They'd be like, "Dude, that guy sucks, bro."
Right.
It's like,
Right.
He can't be a black belt. There's no way.
I think that's how it would normally
That's
go
how I
down.
know. Yeah.
But let's play devil's advocate. Let's go to the extreme.
Let me make
right?
it really bad. Let's say he's
All right.
objectively not a black belt. You could just tell, like he doesn't. Everything's just wrong.
Just trash.
Yeah.
Straight basura. Okay, so
Or even white belts notice it. You know what I mean? A good, year in white belt's like, hey, what's up with this guy?
they're like, damn, man, I know how to do a UPA.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What do you do?
I guess if you wanted to go the extreme measure, right, you go, hey, man, all right, we got a few more rounds in. Like, how about you and I, we just, like, get some flow rolling in. And then I guess you could just dog walk his ass, right? You could just be like dragging him, popping up, knee on the belly, putting a lot of pressure. If he looks like he's about to tap, you don't let him tap. You freaking, you just torture him,
You
right?
punish him, huh?
You just punish him. And then, you know, he's going to be, oh, wait. He'll probably like tap from pressure or tap because he's just tired.
Oh, that's a good one. They tap too early. He just like
Yeah.
you tapping the pressure. He's like
Right. And then I guess
or he taps too late.
if
you get the
wanna
arm
be
and
an asshole,
tap.
right?
You know what I mean?
Don't break his arm.
Not break it, but you know what I mean. He clearly has no idea of when
He
to
doesn't
tap.
know when to stop.
Yeah, so
right?
that way you
Or-
know
yeah.
he's a fake.
So I guess you could just drag him for a while and just make this the worst 5 minutes ever, you know?
Don't you ever come in my school again?
And then that's
Fake
the
black
next
belt.
question, right? Do you do that? Do you do the move where after you've beaten his ass and he's got the single tear rolling down his cheek and it's like, oh man, you know, I was a little out of practice. And then you go, nah, bullshit. I know you're no good. You're not a black belt. Where'd you train? What's your lineage? And then you like give him the third degree.
Yeah.
That's that's the mean way to do it. And I'm not a mean guy. See, I'm a nice guy. So I don't know that I would even do all that. Like, for me,
Would you confront him? Put it that way.
I would probably confront him in a softer way. It would just be like, so where'd you train? I was like, you know, how long you been training? What you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I would just kind of like pick his brain
Like,
and
what if
then
you got a bunch of
mentally pick it apart.
like? What if you got a bunch of just like ambiguous answers to where you couldn't confirm or deny, but you knew he was
Just know he's full of shit.
you basically knew it. Did you call him on it or what?
I don't even know. I would just be like, hey, man, listen, appreciate you coming out. It's like, I'm like, you know, I wouldn't really suggest you go to some other schools like this because other schools may not really handle it the way we do. And he's like, oh, handle what the way we do? What do you mean? I'm like, again, I don't know exactly what the criteria was for your black belt, but I'm like, but man, you know, you might just be out of practice.
Or it's even worse if, let's say, he comes in on a day where you have no black belts. Let's say you have some killer browns, purples, blues. You got a lot of color in there, but no black belts.
Right.
And then you line up, and he goes to the very front with an attitude, fixing his belt. He doesn't turn around. He does straight up in the coach's face.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right, so
But I
I've
will say
said this. Okay, yeah. Let me say this. So, for me, I'm probably going to have a very light touch with it because you know I always say check your ego at the door, and I think a lot of times when you get upset, even if you're upset at someone else, but it's because your feelings got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm offended that you would step foot into my gym and put on this black belt when you're blatantly not that. And I'm offended and I'm upset and I'm mad. And now I'm going to take it out on you.
Yeah. What about the school's honor?
I know. Yeah.
You disrespect school.
What do you say? You offended my family and the Shaolin Temple. I don't know, man. I also guess I can't really knock you too much. If you do want to, like, you know, I don't want to say smack them around a little bit, but hell, fuck, it's a martial art. Sometimes you get smacked around a little bit. Do you drag them? You drag new people.
I do, man.
So I can only imagine what the hell you would do.
You have to. only first day, brand new, first day. Got to show them that respect, right? It's like,
Yes.
Here's what I don't want. And I'm not doing it to be mean, but I'm just saying, look, if you come in day one, I'll roll a little bit harder with you because I don't ever want a guy leaving saying, "Oh man, I tried jiu-jitsu, yeah, and I even rolled this black belt, dude. He couldn't even submit me,
Right?
You know, he was all right, dude. You know what I mean? So I want to let them know jiu-jitsu's legit. I'm not gonna be mean to him, but I'm gonna try to submit him.
But you're just
multiple
gonna
times.
dominate his
I'm gonna
ass.
dominate him, dude. Yeah, as long as I'm having a good day, not having an old man day, I'm gonna maul him, right? As
Your
nicely
old
as,
man day is
as
better than
nicely
most
as I
people's
can,
good days.
right? But here's the thing, though.
Uh-huh.
If they join after that, then that stops.
True.
That goes away, and then I start helping them, and I start working with them, and then we start flowing and showing all that, and then it goes full circle. They start getting better. You're going a little harder. You know, it goes back to full circle at the end of the day, though.
Okay. And part of me likes that, man. I think, you know, I think that's why when people show up on a day when both of us are there,
Yeah, you get a little-
it's a good thing because I'll roll with them. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, you're doing good. Okay, yeah, you're starting to get the concept. You're doing, oh, yeah, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. I'm like, I'm trying to nurture.
Yeah.
And Rod's like, prepare to die. You know, and it's like, oh, my God. He's like, you should be afraid. And he's just freaking choking them, tossing them up. They're like, I don't even know how to tie my belt.
He'll hook in the first day. Right now, it's not that bad.
And then, no, it's not that bad. But from the outside looking in, it looks bad.
Sorry, man.
Boy, no, I'm not mad at you. I was teaching that freaking class Friday, and we had a lot of people. And I looked over, and I saw him. I was like, what the fuck?
So bad.
I was like, dude, Rod, he just joined. What are
I
you
didn't
doing?
know. I didn't know. Oh man. That's all
Rod
right.
slapping killer triangles on him and shit. I was like, oh my God.
Hey man, it was in love. It was all in love.
It was all
He was
in
happy.
love.
He liked it.
He did. And I
this is
talked to
great.
him afterwards, and he was like, this shit is great.
He was like 19.
You're right.
With little weights too. I'm like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
he's great shape. He's freaking young. He's strong. He's ready. And I think he might have freaking joined too. So your approach works.
It did work.
Your approach works, man. I can't knock you for it. I guess my approach works too. They sign up when I'm nice to
Yeah.
them. Damn, I should just beat beat somebody up one day, just so I could get a feel for it. I'm like, you know what? You're new. Watch this.
This is what it's like.
Mushing his face into the mat. Then they're gonna leave. They're gonna quit if I do.
Yeah, they probably would.
He's a bully. So okay. We know you beat the shit out of new guys. What about this fake black belt?
Oh yeah,
when
yeah.
he
Okay,
shows
so
in?
we did have that. I don't know if you. I think you were with our school at the time.
Probably if it's been in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think it was. I was a blue belt at the time.
So maybe.
And you know what? You were there when I was a blue
Yeah,
belt
I
for
must
sure.
say.
Because
So,
I saw
yeah,
a
it should be.
picture on the old group me and I was a blue belt.
Yep.
But anyway, I was blue belt and this kid was in here. He was a purple belt at the
Okay.
time. But I would just maul this guy, dude. And then it wasn't just me. It was everyone in the school. Even our white belts were like, this guy basically was objectively not very good.
Okay.
And he was wearing a purple belt. Like, come on, man. I mean, he would, in my opinion, he was like a 2-stripe white belt. Like that's where he
Two-stripe
would.
white belt.
That's where he felt like he was. Like he did everything wrong. He was not. He had no control. He was spazzy and no techniques.
Okay.
There was nothing about his technique or style that led me to believe he was remotely close to being a purple belt. But and the whole school said that. We all knew it was kind of like joking. But no one really. We never called him out. We never said anything to him. We never teased him. We just like let him do his thing.
Did he join?
He joined. He was our student.
Oh.
And here's a funny thing. So then, I want to see he's with us about a year or so. So during that time, our blue belts start moving up. We start getting
Right,
stripes.
uh-huh.
And a couple of our guys jumped up to purple belt, maybe.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he comes in. He's got 4 stripes on his purple belt. I'm like,
Oh,
you gotta be
shit.
kidding me! You're like, what?
So wait, was he supposedly training somewhere else?
I have no
too?
idea. I don't know if it was a self promotion or what.
He
but
just figured, fuck it. If you
I'm
guys
gonna
got
throw
some, I want
stripes on.
some.
I'm gonna be one step ahead. But it was pretty strange. Yeah, it
Wow.
was. But no one ever really like called him on it. Gus didn't even really call him on. He didn't say anything because
That's ballsy.
it is, huh?
Yeah. that's like, man.
It's like, what do you say? And I'm like, what do you say? Hey, dude, you just suck. You can't say that. Because here's the flip side. I've seen guys come in and maybe even a higher belt, and I didn't think they were that good at first. But you know what?
So
they're rusty, though.
Yes.
And within 3 months, like, oh, my God, this guy's killing me now. He's mauling me.
And that's the thing, right?
You don't know.
Is it they're just out of practice?
They're out of practice.
It's like riding a bicycle. You know what I'm saying? You jump back on, you get it figured out again,
Yeah.
and then you're kicking ass. Or is it the guy who he comes in and he's like,
He's chilling.
well, I don't want to just jump in and just
Yeah.
start whooping everybody's ass.
Exactly.
Because then I don't want to seem like I'm that, some freaking jerk.
Yeah,
And
you
everybody's
don't be
like, oh
that
my
guy.
God, he's coming in trying to show everybody up.
And it's or a combination of both. Like, let's say I took 6 months off. I had to join a new school. Like, I'm going to go to the new school. I'll be a little rusty after 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, you still want to come in a little humble. You don't want to go in
Right.
like trying to smash. So you have two things, that may make it seem that you're not as good as you really are.
And then you got the blue belts just eating your lunch. You're like, well, wait a minute.
They ain't gonna eat your lunch, dude.
Nah, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. Huh.
I don't know. Let's get a whole slew of Olegs.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah,
Get a bunch of
damn.
Olegs coming at you.
See, and that would be a
They're
bitch
good
too,
stuff.
because holy crap.
Blue belts
So
are
what
good
happens
too.
if you do get that, right? You
You're
get
right.
these like top of the line guys
right.
who are at blue belt or even purple belt, and they jump on a guy who's a black belt, and it's just like, yeah, dude, but you're different. You're not. You're the exception.
they're
You're
the
not
outlier.
the rule, right? Because again, we've got blue belts. We got blue belts right now that
blue belts
would
are good.
give a lot of brown belts and black belts a run for their money. Like, what do you do? So if one of them get a new guy who shows up with his black belt, and it's like, ooh, shit, they're about to eat. And then-
But do you think that's happened though? Like, actually, put it in the comments if that's happened. If you've had a fake black belt, or let's just say start with black belt, but I want to know any belt.
yeah,
If you just objectively think that this guy is not that belt,
you just know damn
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They showed up, and you're like, dude, you just self-promoted. There's no way you were training, or if you had conversations and the shit sounds real sketchy. If it's just like, oh yeah, I trained with one of them Gracies. Oh yeah,
it's always a
Which
Gracie.
Gracie? Yeah, it's always a Gracie.
Yeah.
Which Gracie? It's like Javier or something, or they just start making names.
there
up.
was a video online. I think it was like this Jamaican guy who had a black belt. He had a school, and these two cats came in. They were like, dude, your black belt is fake. I tell you right now. Like, are you IBJJF certified? And he's like, well, he didn't even know what that meant. Because you're IBJJF certified. And he wanted to roll. He called him out. Okay, let's roll. He goes, no, I'm not gonna. I don't roll with people like you don't roll.
Yeah. Ooh, see, how about that?
He straight called him
right?
out.
And God forbid. See, now here's a real kick in the ass. That's one thing if somebody shows up to your school. What if you go to somebody's school and you're like, oh yeah, my name is this is Chuck's Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm out in the corner of the mall off of Fifth, and you show up and you're just like, oh man, I don't know, these guys got a bunch of UFC posters up and
Wearing
you
tap
got,
out shorts.
Yeah, right. Wearing tap out shorts with a camouflage gi top on and a black belt, or God forbid, black belt with a coral belt.
Yeah.
But he's like 42 years old.
Okay, that's a good one. Has anybody had a fake coral belt? You'd have to have some balls to do that. That's crazy. Like an old dude.
I'm going to say
think about
yes.
it. You think it's
I'm
been
going to
done?
say yes, man. Because
If you think about it, it's been done.
I almost wanted to do a whole podcast with you, and I still might. We might have to talk about it. Is there even a need for coral belts? Is there even a need for anything? Like once you hit black belt, it's a terminal belt. Yeah. It's like
even the stripes, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Should you even stripe?
I think it's silly, in my opinion.
But I don't like it.
I mean, it's like
I like it. I like it.
It shows your development, I guess. But it's what does it really mean? Though it just means it's time based only. At that
and then what happens when there's nobody that you know who is a coral or a red belt and all this?
Because they're dead.
Well, yeah, probably they're dead. But what about if you still going and you've got the time in? Well, who promotes
who could belt you?
Yeah, like who's gonna keep it going? It's true. And then are you just self promoting off of time? You're like, well, it's been another 7 years. What the hell?
Yeah,
you just stripe it up. Oh man,
what is it? It's 3 years, right? For your first three?
3, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 7, 7.
How many do you
like
get total as a black belt?
Oh,
how many stripes?
Man, you're gonna make me do math. Let me see. We got the first.
I should know. They're not. It's just not that important to me.
I want to say it's like 7 or.
There's
something.
A lot, huh?
Yeah.
It's
but like to get to it, it's like almost.
That's where Gus got the white
30
belt.
Some odd years.
That's where you got the 6-stripe white belt.
Oh yeah, right.
He's thinking about black belt.
Slapping them on there. Just keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sure there's been a fake coral belt.
There probably has, huh? You probably get whooped up. The whole school's going to try to do that.
I remember this old movie that came out years ago. It was called Red Belt. And it was about this dude who trained, like, I think he lived in, like, Chicago or New York or whatever, and he had this little gym. And in the end of the movie, he gets his red belt. I got to watch it again because I'm looking at him. I'm like, I don't even think he was old enough to be getting the damn red belt. He had to, like, turn 18, get his black belt.
How many red belts are there right now?
I don't.
It's probably a handful, right?
I don't know.
It's
probably less than 20.
You think there's less?
Yeah.
And they're all
Hickson
probably,
didn't even want his.
You're right. They're all probably at least in their 60s, I would say.
Easily. And they probably mostly have the last name Gracie.
Yeah, you're right.
Go figure. How the hell we get off the red belt? Oh, because we're just talking about people just showing up. And then, okay, so here's the other thing that could happen, and I guess this would be less likely. Somebody shows up, they've been training for 100 years, and they just can't do what they used to do, right? So it's like...
But they got like 8 stripes.
Yeah, and I mean, are you going to try to take that away from them? It's like, at that point, but if he shows up like that, he should easily be able to have a conversation with you. And he's like, well, yeah, listen, dude, I'm old. I'm broken. I got 2 fake hips and
They don't care.
You say that because
they don't care. You
think they don't care.
You get no excuse.
Look,
I've been trying to say that for years.
I know you keep trying to say it, but then you don't actually fit the bill. You go in there and you're going like light speed on everybody, so that's why they come at you like that. But what if you're really like legitimately just an older, slower guy, but you earned your black belt, maybe even you got your black belt 3, 4, 5 stripes, whatever, and I don't even know. Are you still visiting schools at that point in time? I think
probably doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we started this saying?
You just start doing podcasts. Hell yeah! Those who can't do podcasts. That's funny. I'm not mad at it. Shit, I fit the description. So, fake black belts, fake any belts. If it's ever happened to you, tell us about it. Believe it or not, we're filming this during the Super Bowl because, well, we don't watch football. So tell us who won. I don't know. It'll be cool. But I guess I kind of have to vote for the Eagles because my whole family, they're all from Philly. So, yeah. Whatever. Enough of that. Anything else, man? I think we're good. We're just talking about what we would do. Oh wait,
Wait, we
that
did
would
see.
be the worst case scenario.
Wait.
How do you do it nicely?
uh,
Yeah, you wouldn't do it
I don't know.
nicely.
I wouldn't
See,
do
you wouldn't do it nicely.
but I did. I was gonna say this. I've seen self promotions.
Hey,
That's
listen,
very. That's
yes,
almost on the
so
cusp of this. No,
I was
Seen
going
that?
to touch on that, and then I decided not to. But now that you brought it up,
Well, we don't have to
so
say
we're not have to
names,
say
but
right.
I did
but
see
there's
that happen.
absolutely people who've self-promoted. I thought that was just wild.
Yeah.
It was just wild. People who either self-promoted or talk themselves into being promoted. I think those are
yeah, those are too
that's a
loosely
bad
related,
move.
right? They're very.
Like,
they're very.
It's
loosely
very related. What do they say? Don't chase the bell, let the bell chase you. Gus says that a lot. I mean,
Gus says-
and same with Hassett. Hassett used to say, he's like, look, if you ask about the belt, he's like, that's another 6 months at least right there.
Yeah.
He's like, even if you're good enough, he's like, just nah, you're definitely not getting promoted anytime soon.
That's true. Don't ask.
Just
Don't
leave it
ask
alone.
about it.
Leave it alone.
Why does it matter? You know, it's weird. It's like I'm asking why it matters, and like
It
I was that guy.
matters.
Like back then, I know
It
because you're
matters.
putting this time into this sport, right?
You
You're
want
putting
to
your
be
heart, your soul,
recognized.
you're away from your family.
Your ego needs it.
Yeah, it's like
Your ego
how can you
needs
say I'm not as good as this guy? I could beat this guy up. I could beat that guy up. Whatever.
Right.
Even though that's not really a reflection of it,
And that's
right?
the hard part.
That's the hard
to
part.
understand as the student.
Yep.
Because you're like, well, I can do better than this guy, and
Yeah.
he's got it. Why shouldn't I? And that logically makes sense. That's
There's a nuance to it.
That's a very solid logical argument. But then you go, because there's more to it than just
There's
can
more
you
to
kick
it,
everybody's
man.
ass.
And like Gus, sometimes like he has a very like calculated way of promoting too. Like
Yeah.
he might say like he might look at one guy might have a lot of potential, and even though this guy has a tremendous potential and he's beating everybody, he's like, I'm gonna hold him back because he's better than that. He
'Cause
needs to be a
wants
little
see
bit
him
better.
Be
Yes,
the best he can be.
his version of blue belt, he's got more in him, and I'm going to hold him to that standard. So he does that sometimes, and I really don't have a problem with that. If the guy's gifted with all these genetics, he's
Right.
just mauling everybody.
Yeah.
Where another guy might suck, but
he's
he
doing
put a lot of
really
hard work
good
in.
for who he
For
is.
what he came in with, he's the best he can be. Gus, he might give him the belt.
Right.
So
And
on
then-
the outside, it doesn't look fair, but it is fair.
Right, and then that same guy might be better at helping and teaching
Yes.
and being a good uki and doing like, see, but that's when it to me it's the martial art.
It's the martial art.
That's the martial
You got to
art
trust.
version of it.
You got to trust the judgment of your professor, basically.
Your
he is-
sensei.
Yeah, I mean, look at if they own a school, they're in it, dude. Right? They're in it. You're not going to own a school and not be in jiu-jitsu. They're competing all the time. They
Right.
have gold medals. They have it. They know.
Yeah.
It's who are you to say, oh, this
would
guy doesn't
basically
know?
yeah.
I know better than you. I'm a white belt.
Right. How about that? I saw this on TV and I'm pretty sure I'm this
Yeah.
now. I'm just gonna go ahead and strap this up.
It does suck, man, because I've been there. I've been there before.
Yeah.
It sucks. But it's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because like that was so long ago. I got the belt. Even if it took me an extra year, looking back in retrospect,
Yeah.
I'd still be a black belt right now, right?
For sure.
Even if it took me 3 years to get my blue belt.
Yep.
Okay, so I've been training for 14 years now. So even if it took me 5 years, I'd still be a black belt right now.
Yeah, and
it really
that's
has
the other
very
thing I
little
tell
impact in
people.
my overall jiu-jitsu journey.
For sure. Because more likely than not, as long as you can keep yourself alive, you'll be a black
You'll be a
belt
black
for a
belt.
lot longer than you've been
you'll
all
be-
the other belts combined.
Exactly.
So it's like,
And you'll miss that time, man. I'm telling you, man. Everybody wants to get out of that white belt, man, or the blue belt. Blue belt's the one too that you want to get out of. You want to get the purple, right?
blue belt blues.
Yeah.
But
You enjoy that journey, man. While you're there, it gets tougher as you go up in rank. You know, you're not afforded those little mistakes. You're not afforded. Oh, I didn't know this. You know, you're supposed to know. You know, you're a freaking purple belt.
But man, come on, it's nice being a black belt.
That is nice.
It's nice being a black belt. I mean, I'm not.
You
I'm
don't
not
have to
gonna,
do warm-ups.
I'm not gonna pretend.
That's a great. That's terrible.
Yes. it's,
all bad.
it's nice being a black belt to me because it gives me a certain amount of freedom to pursue
really does.
jiu-jitsu the way I want to.
Yes.
That's the thing for me because it's hard to be new but want to be self-directed.
You really can.
Because yeah, and even at blue belt and sometimes even at purple belt, it's hard to be fully self-directed.
You don't
And,
know enough
like,
yet.
Right. It's like I'm only going to learn this today because I don't feel like coming to class and learning this.
You know what it's like? It's like, let's say you buy a house, right?
Uh-huh.
And you just immediately dump a ton of money into it and you remodel the whole thing, but you've never remodeled a house before.
Oof.
I guarantee you, more than likely, this is a little real estate lesson too. 2 years, 3 years from now, you're gonna look back and say, "Man, I shouldn't have done the kitchen like that. I shouldn't have done the bathroom like that. I messed up. I didn't know." You always want to live in the house for a little bit of
You
time.
gotta sit in it for a
Sit in
while.
it for a minute, and then you get to know what you don't know.
There you
It's
go.
the same with jujitsu. You know, sit in that belt for a minute. You get to learn what you don't know.
Words of wisdom.
Wisdom, man. See all this gray right here? This thing.
Hell
It's
yeah.
called
But it's
wisdom.
not just that, right? See, you wouldn't have that wisdom if you weren't a black belt.
That's true.
All right, everybody. This is a quick one, dude. I want to know if you guys have ever run across a fake whatever
Any
belt.
belt.
Any belt. And how did you deal with it? Or did you kind of just let it slide? Or even have you seen someone else deal with it harshly?
Don't call him out.
Don't call him out. Yeah, good
Yeah.
Lord. We're not
John
saying put
Smith.
him on blast. Don't start doxing
Yeah.
people. He's like, oh, yeah, he lives on 123rd. Nah, don't do him like that.
Yeah.
But if you know him, go ahead and give us a shout out. Tell us about it.
Don't even describe him.
Don't even describe him. He fits
This
the
is-
description. No, don't do that either.
This tall, short, skinny, fat guy.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, and hopefully whatever the hell you were doing watching the Super Bowl or something, hopefully it went the way you wanted. So that's pretty much it for today.
That's all we got, man.
Hell yeah. All right,
Hey, man, if
everybody.
you guys like it, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you made it this far, share it to a buddy. It really, I know it sounds cliche. It really does, right? It helps the algorithm, but it really does, right? And it really would,
does.
we'd appreciate it. Appreciate all the support from you guys. And it really is, we're starting to get a little bit more subscribers, starting to get this thing moving along. And we want to just keep it growing and keep pushing this channel out to more people, spreading the jujitsu.
Heck yeah.
So we appreciate it. All right, you guys.
All right,
See you
everyone.
guys next week.
Us.
Puss.